Welcome, my name is Alan and we're back with more notable names in African American history. Today, we are looking at Bobby Seale. Since Monday we did look at Huey P. Newton, I figured we'd look at the other co-founder of the Black Panthers. And of the people we've looked at, I think he's the only one who's actually still alive. He'd be in his late 80s, closing in on 90, so yeah, Bobby Seale. Let's get into this. This is from the National Archives, this part right here. Robert George Seale was born in Liberty, Texas, the first of 3 children. After relocating to several cities in Texas, his family finally settled in Oakland, California during World War II. After a stint in the Air Force, Seale attended Merritt College, where he joined the Afro-American Society, a student group, and promoted black separatism, and where he meets Huey P. Newton. Together, both inspired by Malcolm X, they founded the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Remember, we talked about this in our episode on Huey P. Newton. Black Panther Party, the full name is Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. They weren't, solely aggressive. It was like, we will defend ourselves, but all we want is proper rights, homes, food, education, to be treated like people. So yeah, Seale served as a chairman while Newton served as the Minister of Defense. In the early years of the Black Panther Party, Seale was repeatedly arrested and tried on multiple charges. He was a defendant and part of the Chicago 8 and the New Haven Black Panther trials. He was suspected of murdering a fellow Panther who allegedly impregnated his wife while Seale was in jail, but no charges were brought. After his final release, the Black Panther Party expanded their focus and announced the implementation of a breakfast program which served mainly cities. Seale ran for mayor of Oakland in 1973. And even though he lost, he received the second most votes out of 9 candidates. After the decline of the Black Panther Party, Seale taught in Afro-American Studies Department at Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He moved back to Oakland in 2002 to help young activists bring about social change. He gives lectures at colleges worldwide regarding his involvement with the Black Panther Party and offers advice concerning community organizing and racial justice. That's what the National Archives says. But yeah, he's born October 22nd, 1936. So like I said, he's 88, 89-year-old, closing in on 90. Only one I've talked about so far that's still alive. All the others I've mentioned in these videos have died. Sometimes not that long ago, like Muhammad Ali or Jim Brown. They didn't die that long ago. But yeah, Bobby Seale is the only one so far still alive. Now, let's look at what Britannica says. Born October 22nd, 1936 in Dallas, Texas, U.S. So yeah, there's a difference already. Britannica says Dallas, Texas. National Archives says he was born in Liberty, Texas. So we know it's somewhere in that area of Texas. And he's an American political activist who founded, along with Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther Party, and served as the national chairman. He was one of a generation of young African American radicals who broke away from the traditionally nonviolent civil rights movement to preach a doctrine of militant black empowerment. So again, remember, it's like, we've got no problem using self-defense, using violence to defend ourselves. It's like, don't go out of your way to be violent, but don't be afraid to use violence to defend yourself. Whereas you had others such as Dr. King pushing the idea of nonviolent movement. Sorry, I can't remember what words I want to say. Protests, boycotts, that kind of stuff. But Bobby Seale was like, no, we will use self-defense. Following the dismissal of murder charges against him in 1971, Seale somewhat moderated his more militant views and devoted his time to effecting change from within the system. Seale grew up in Dallas and in California. Following service in the U.S. Air Force, he entered Merritt College. In Oakland, California, there his radicalism took root in 1962 when he first heard Malcolm X speak. Seale helped found the Black Panther parties in 1966 along with Huey P. Newton. Noted for their violent views, they also ran medical clinics and served free breakfast to school children, among other programs. In 1969, Seale was indicted in Chicago for conspiracy to incite riots during the Democratic National Convention the previous year. The famous 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, which broke down into riots. And they claim Seale was one of the inciters of it. He helped get it going. He wasn't necessarily involved in the rioting themselves, but he helped incite it. That's what they tried to claim. So, yeah. But anyway, the court refused to allow him to have his choice of lawyer. That seems unlawful. When Seale repeatedly rose to insist that he was being denied his constitutional right to counsel, the judge ordered him bound and gagged. Yeah, again, that seems very unconstitutional. Of course, we've got a current group of people in office that don't care about our Constitution either. They would rather rip it up. Anyway, he was convicted of 16 counts of contempt and sentenced to 4 years in prison. In 1970-71, he had a co-defendant, or he was tried for the 1969 murder of a Black Panther suspected of being a police informer. The 6-month-long trial ended in a hung jury. Following his release from prison, Seale renounced violence as a means to an end and announced his intention to work within the political process. He ran for mayor of Oakland in 1973, finishing second. As the Black Panther Party faded from public view, Seale took on a quieter role, working to improve social services in black neighborhoods and improve the environment. His books included the autobiography A Lonely Rage and Seize the Time, the story of the Black Panther Party and Huey P. Newton, and Power to the People, the World of the Black Panthers, co-written by Stephen Shames. Seale also published Barbecuing with Bobby, a cookbook. So yeah. Let's get a look here. We also got the Wikipedia page pulled up. Yeah, it says Liberty, Texas as well. So there seems to be some confusion on Liberty and Dallas, but I get the feeling they're fairly close to each other. So Merritt College is, of course, hugely important because it's where Newton and Seale came together and met one another, being inspired by Malcolm X to form the Black Panthers. He's been married twice, divorced from the first wife, and the second wife he's still married to. No children are listed, though. Let's see. Yeah, part of the part of the 68 National Convention riots were also led by anti-Vietnam War protests. And so they tried to pin a conspiracy that they were out to do this. Bobby Seale, as one of them, along with 8 other people. Rennie Davis, David Dellinger, John Froines, Tom Hayden, Abby Hoffman, who has some history himself, Jerry Rubin, and Lee Weiner. And then, of course, Bobby Seale, as we're talking about. Yeah, you can see how much they'll rip the rights out from under you if they don't like you. Yeah. So originally he was part of the Chicago 8, but they pulled his case separate from the Chicago 7. Making it into the Chicago 7. The 7 others I named there. The government declined to retry him on the conspiracy charges. Though he was never convicted in the case, he was sentenced by Judge Hoffman to 4 years for criminal contempt of court. Which is bullshit. They love using that contempt of court charge just so they can push things on you anyway. Yeah, that needs severe restriction. If not outright ban. While still in prison in 1970, the New Haven Black Panther trials over the torture and murder of Alex Rackley, who the party had suspected of being a police informer. So there was a series of them. New Haven, Connecticut, ranging from criminal conspiracy to first-degree murder. Black Panther George Sams Jr. testified that Seale had ordered him to kill Rackley. The jury was unable to reach a verdict in Seale's trial, and the charges were eventually dropped. Let's see, his father was a carpenter and his mother a homemaker. So yeah, meaning George brought home the money while Thelma kept everything going at home. Lived in poverty during most of their early life after moving around Texas, first to Dallas. So maybe that's where the idea came from, Liberty to Dallas. Well, yeah, it's still... Oh, no. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Then to Albany, California during the Great Migration, where many of African Americans located out of the South. And that's when you see a lot of people moving to California or Chicago and places like that. From Dallas, they went to San Antonio and then Port Arthur before going to Albany, California. Let's see. He would drop out of high school, Bobby Seale, and join the U.S. Air Force. He would be court-martialed and convicted of fighting a commanding officer, resulting in a bad conduct discharge. Let's see. And of course, we talked about him co-founding the Black Panthers. He's got several books he's written into his own name. During his time with the Panthers, Bobby Seale was kept under surveillance by the FBI as part of the illegal COINTEL program. I'm sure there's a lot of people who speak out in favor of certain things. If they see over and over that you're pushing for certain rights and things like this and that, they'll have files on you. I have no idea. If you, who knows, they may even have one on me, because I believe that people have rights to things that are kept from them just so, freaking... I can't... My brain's not functioning right now. I can't remember the capitalism. So capitalism can make another buck. New Haven Black Panther trials, 73 and 74. Activities. Ran for mayor of Oakland, California. He did come in second. And in a field of total 9 candidates. In 74, Seale and Newton argued over a proposed film about the Panthers that Newton wanted Bert Schneider to produce. According to several accounts, the argument escalated into a fight in which Newton, attacked by his armed bodyguards, allegedly beat Seale with a bully whip so bad that Seale required extensive medical treatment for his injuries. Afterward, he went into hiding for nearly a year and ended his affiliation with the party that year. Seale has denied that any such physical altercation took place, dismissing the rumors that he and Newton were ever less than friends. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but it's suggested that it got into a fight. Blah, blah, blah. Talk about the 10-point platform of the Panthers, and this is what the points wanted. 1, we want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our black community. But again, remember, redlining, Jim Crow, there was a lot of things still keeping that from happening. 2, we want full employment for our people. Yeah, a lot of people had trouble finding jobs, even though there was jobs available, but because of segregation, Jim Crow, and all that bullshit. Yeah. 3, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black community. Yeah, oftentimes that land or property or just pay for work would be taken advantage of by capitalists. 4, we want decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings. That's something I think all people deserve. End to the robbery by the capitalists? Absolutely, everybody. Freedom, power to determine the destiny of your own community? Absolutely. I mean, everybody should have these. Full employment for our people. Yeah. If you want that job to make that money, go ahead. I would like to see a more communist mixed situation where people could do the things they enjoy, they have the ability to do, and make money from it. You know, some people love tinkering, making things. Some people love gardening. I'm talking gardening. I'm not talking flowers. I'm talking tomatoes, cabbage, corn, cucumbers, that type of gardening. They should be able to do that, grow foods, trade with some of the crops they get. People good with mechanics. You know, maybe in regards to fixing up cars or small engines, they absolutely should be able to do that because it's something they know and they like. Fine, they should be able to trade those services for other things. Now, this doesn't mean I think money should be completely erased. No. But I don't think it should be the full and only form of trade, of economics. Because I feel that item and labor services should be exchangeable for other things. Common sense. But I'm getting off track here. I'm just describing my thoughts. Yeah, everybody has a right to shelter that's fit for a person. We want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present day society. Yeah, this is one thing I agree with completely. We want a history classes to teach everything. America's never been this wonderfully pretty nation. There is always an ugly side if you look back at history. And trying to avoid those things or toss them out, that's not teaching history, that's teaching propaganda. 6, we want all black men to be exempt from military service. Which, at this point, the military does not draft anymore. So, yeah, there is a bit of an exemption from military service. People can still apply and be in the military if they wish. But right now, our departments of defense do not believe in using the draft. The military does not want to use the draft again. Though under our current set of morons that run the country, we may end up going back to this. Number 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. Absolutely. Number 8, we want freedom for all black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. I think all of them are pretty sensible. Number 8, I think a lot of the low-level charges, yeah, that shouldn't even count. Or drug possession charges. People that were put in jail for possession of drugs and stuff like marijuana has since been legalized, those people should be let go. Especially if they committed no other fucking offenses. Other things, assault, murder, rape, yeah. Anybody who does that should spend time in jail. 9, we want all black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in a court by a jury of their peer group or people from their black communities as defined by the Constitution of the United States. Yeah, you have the right to be tried by a jury of your peers. Too often during the Jim Crow era, we would see racist, completely white juries try a person of color. So yeah, that's again just saying we want our constitutional rights. And we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, and justice and peace. As is a fair request if we truly saw people in the nation equal. It's a fucking fair request. We've talked about his writing. He appeared on a television documentary series, Cold War, discussing the 1960s. The 1999 theatrical documentary, Public Enemy, he starred in. He works with a program called REACH, which focused on youth education programs and taught black studies at Temple University in Philadelphia. He moved back to Oakland. To work with young political advocates to influence social change. Started the documentary The U.S. versus John Lennon to discuss his friendship with Lennon. Has visited over 500 colleges to share his personal experiences as Black Panther and to give advice to students interested in community organizing and social justice. So yeah. But this has been a pretty good look at Bobby Seale as an individual. Again, inspired alongside Huey P. Newton to co-found the Black Panther Party for self-defense. But one of the things people don't look at when you usually say Black Panther Party is the fact they just want what for a lot of people is just constitutional rights. To be treated like a proper human being. If y'all are interested as well, I do have an interview here from Washington University in St. Louis. It's an interview with Bobby Seale. I don't know what year it's from. Conducted for Eyes on the Prize 2. But they talk about founding the Black Panther Party with Huey P. Newton in Oakland, Fred Hampton, Black Power, his participation in the negotiations attempting to end the 1971 Attica prison uprising and rebellion in New York, and his speech at the National Black Political Convention in Gary, Indiana in 1972. I don't know exactly what year this was from. Okay, date issued 1988. But yeah, they've got the transcripts here and then the video. But yeah, it shows what goes on. Camera rolls, sound rolls. Camera crew member comes in, mark it, and they do the little slate. And then the interviewer starts talking. Okay, we're back to 1966, 67, 66 through 67. What were just some of the things going on in the black community in Oakland at the time of the Panther Party was founded? Just set the stage for us. And we get into Bobby Seale talking, because it is an interview back and forth. But yeah, just wanted to go ahead and show that here. That'll be the end of this episode. Like I said, y'all can watch that for yourselves. But as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting these sources and links in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.